inviting me here. I hope the next half an hour is useful. I think since most of us are based in India, you're aware of what Mahindra does. But let me remind you, we are a large SUV manufacturer, probably the largest by market share. We are the world's largest tractor manufacturer. We are a large timeshare business outside America with Club Mahindra. We're a top 3 logistics company. We're a top 5 IT services company with Tech Mahindra. We are rural India's largest financial company with Mahindra Finance. We have a largest solar energy company in India called Mahindra Sustain. So lots going on in terms of companies and brands. And how do you transform the group using digital? How do you transform the group using AI? That's what I'm trying to bring to the table. But all these companies are bound together by a very common across the group and a powerful purpose. The purpose to make a positive contribution in the lives of communities, partners, vendors, suppliers, investors, employees, and customers, of course, by focusing on sustainability, focusing on equality and good governance. Also by leveraging technology and driving innovation and building an outstanding customer experience. And if we do the first two well, then the scale impact will happen automatically. It's all about inclusive growth. When everyone rises, then we rise. Every 2-3 years, we scan the technologies which are going to change the world and also are applicable to the Mahindra Group, across the group companies I mentioned. This wheel was done, a radar was done 2 years ago. We refreshed that last year with ChatGPT at the #1 position. All these 7-8 technologies have changed in the last 4 years since we've been in this journey. The 5 things we have to focus on, or we have focused on, I think equally powerful for you. One is around customer journeys. How do you redesign, reimagine, and launch new customer journeys which are frictionless, zero latency, joyful, paperless, simple, and easy for the customer? Of course, how do you unlock the power of data and AI? The topic for today and the theme for today. How do you leverage the cloud for innovation, scalability, security, agility? Of course, trust is very important. So how do you prioritize cybersecurity and digital trust? And of course, how do you build talent and a unique culture where you can do all this at scale and at speed? That's what we've been doing over the last 4 years or 5 years. Some examples I picked up which are unique, familiar, and probably known by you on customer experience. When we launched the Scorpio N 2 years ago, we knew it's going to be a blockbuster. So how do you build infrastructure, a customer experience, where a large amount of customers can book vehicles up front? On the day we launched, we had 5 million people logged in the first 1 hour, 100,000 Scorpios booked, $3 billion revenue generated in half an hour. But of course, behind it, you have to reimagine the car buying journey. And what we did, we copied the idea from $1 billion sale, or billion people sale, done by Flipkart, Amazon, etc. When they launch iPhone, what do? And can we build a similar infrastructure? Can we use the feature of add to cart, where 10 or 15 days in advance before the booking, you let that option to the customer? That helps us and helps the customer. It helps us. We know what color you're going to likely buy. We know whether you're going to buy automatic or a manual. We know whether you're going to buy a sunroof or without. And that helps the production start producing the cars which are added to cart, not yet bought. And this you can do a month in advance. That's how FMCG or e-commerce do their sale. Similarly, when we were launching the electric XUV 400 in January last year, how do we change the game? So we introduced the metaverse even before the cars were available for test drive. Normally the model is you send send cars for test drive to the dealerships, who in turn then invite the customers to come to dealerships, or the cars go to the customers. But if you don't have the cars in hand, what do? So you launch the car on the metaverse. We had 100,000 people who raced the cars in the streets of New York, in the metaverse, of course. And that led to 4,000 conversions where people booked the car and did the test drive as well later in physical. How do you recreate the home buying experience? So last year, we were launching a new inventory in Pune. It's a new inventory called Citadel, Mahindra Citadel. If you look at home buying, I think all of you are prosperous here, so you've already bought a home likely. If you go and buy an apartment, normally the model house is at the podium level or at the ground level. You're trying to buy an apartment at the 20th floor. How would the world look from the 20th floor? So we use the metaverse and the Unreal Engine and created this hyper-real experience where you could go in the metaverse either on a flat screen or on a device, or wearable device, and go up to the 20th floor before you buy the apartment and look at hyper-real experience, including the greens and the cows grazing and the railway line, could be anything for that matter, which were actual drone shots we had done from the height of the drone and converted that into a 3D rendition. And guess what? We were able to sell the inventory within 2 weeks of getting launched. And you could do this even before the model flat was built. Normally, after you get the RERA permission, that's when you build the model flat. Model flat normally is done with lots of great interiors, takes 4 or 5 months to build, and then you start the inventory booking. But this change of experience changed the game. So if you, as CIOs along with the business, are trying to change the game on how your product can be bought, then focus on customer experience and reimagine the customer journey. It's equally valid for employee journey as well. I don't have any employee examples here. But reimagine the customer journey, make it new, and learn from other horizons. Right? Normally, if you look at Horizon 1, it is companies who are competing with you in your industry. If you look at Horizon 2, these are things other companies have done not in your industry. You can copy the Scorpio idea I give you. If you look at Horizon 3, then it's you are inventing a brand new idea. So you have to constantly push the boundaries of how you're doing it. Conversational banking. So in Mahindra Finance, like I told you, it's a semi-urban and rural banking financial services. So we launched this conversational banking where you can, through WhatsApp or through the app, converse with the bank using, of course, AI and Gen AI in 17 languages. And that changed how we serve and drive financial inclusion and give access to customers in the deep rural and semi-urban equally. AI is not new to us. Of course, it got supercharged with Gen AI last year. Around 3 years ago, we launched the XUV 700, which is the one I drive. It has ADAS, which is level 2 autonomy, and which gives you lots of smart adaptive cruise control, detection of obstacles up ahead, accident prevention, drowsiness detection, many other automated features, which makes drives safer, enjoyable, less fatiguing. So AI is not new to us. This is one use case now being worked at scale, where normally you can imagine cars after they're painted and they're completed before they're sent to the dealer and are ready. You need to find out on the gleaming surface of the car, the side panels, the front bonnet, or on the roof, if there are any discoloration patches or any scratches. Because you can imagine, if you get a brand new car from Mahindra or any other brand, and if it has a discoloration patch, likely you will not like it. It'll make bad social media for us. So normally what we did earlier, before AI was affordable, we employed people who would take a lens and take the car out in the sun, right? And they would look for any discoloration patches or any scratches or blobs of paint, which are not easily distinguishable. With AI, here is the rig, which has 80 high-definition cameras. Car is on a conveyor. It's come out of the paint tub. This is just the chassis. You don't need to take a finished car into the rig. Just the car has come out from the paint tub, it's dried already, gone in the oven. You just pass it through the rig. And the rig is able to take high-definition images And this model became so good, it started showing anomalies which were not seen by human eye, because it was doing that level of anomaly detection. Of course, we tuned down the model, because a human eye cannot detect a paint blob. There's no point trying to repaint the car. Similarly, in our used car business called First Choice, we build this trust score. Normally, if you look at how used cars are sold or bought, if you've done yourself, normally you log in your car on the portal. The portal will send somebody to your place for assessing the car, look at the car fully, and try and give you an offer. Normally, at that time, you also call one more portal, and his person also comes, and then you figure out who to sell to. In the end, you may go to the neighborhood and sell to the other guy, or sell to your neighbor, could sell to anyone for that matter. What if AI gives you such an attractive offer that you're able to close the deal online? So this whole idea of using a trust score is to ask the customer, as they load the inventory on our portal on First Choice, to give high quality photos using your phone of the tires, of the battery, of the interiors, and of the exterior of the car from a few different angles. And the AI model quickly assesses the health of the car. So to say, it's similar to health of human beings, and then gives you a spot offer so that you'll likely close the deal. This is to sell your car to the portal. And when you buy the car, you look at the trust score, and then you say, hey, this car is 8 out of 10, and it comes with 1 year Mahindra warranty, and hence I should buy this car, compared to any other portal where you may have a similar model with similar mileage and similar looking. We were able to design new factories in a digital twin model. So this was done when we were starting a new electric vehicle line in Chakan, which is near Pune, last year. And we were able to design the full factory using an Omniverse digital twin. And that helps. You're able to simulate the whole environment, where the paint shop should be, where the electrical shop should be, where the air conditioning should be, how should the car move, rather than car moving across the conveyor in a single assembly line. We are able to track around 55,000 tractors. All our new tractors from here on are connected to the cloud, and they're sending real-time data to the cloud. So how do you track real-time tractors throughout India and help the farmer in various ways with an app? So there's a farmer app called Krishi, where many farmers are rich farmers who have more than one tractor. So what do? They rent out their tractor to the needy farmer who doesn't have a tractor. But the farmer who's renting out his tractor is always worried where this farmer is going to take my tractor. So with this app, they're able to track and geofence the tractor. They've told them, run the tractor only in the field, don't cross the highway. Right? And they're able to see that their tractor is not being taken by the farmer who took it from them on rent and is not crossing the highway in any way. And many other similar features of what is the acreage, because they charge to the renter charge to the rentee on acreage, on how many acres have you tilled using my tractor. So it computes the acreage and gives you the area, and you multiply that to whatever rate you gave him, and he pays back to you. Similarly, it gives many other maintenance alerts. So how do you change your products using AI? Similarly, in sugarcane, using satellite data, we have a satellite company called Gamaya, which we had acquired around a couple of years ago. So with sugarcane farmers, mainly in Maharashtra, we are able to predict down to a day, on the day they should harvest their sugarcane, because we can guarantee they will get 30% more yield from their crop when they sell it to the mandi. And this is about the ripening algorithm, which is using vision, and more ripened sugarcane, which is tested at the time of being bought by the mandi. More ripened sugarcane yield better returns for the farmer. So there's a small video on this as well.
Mahindra presenting the revolutionary smart harvesting solution powered by AI and ML. Smart harvesting solution seamlessly integrates weather data, satellite imagery, and agronomy data to provide invaluable insights to sugar mills and farmers, such as sugar content, sugarcane yield, and crop health. These insights let sugar mills Plan the right order for harvesting sugarcane plots to maximize recovery. Estimate sugarcane yield accurately to optimize costs for labor and inputs. Identify plots with poor growth for timely corrective action. Our solution has been implemented on 1.5 lakh acres across 15 sugar mills.
Similarly, on our solar business, being able to use computer vision to detect which panels, and if you look at solar farms, they may go on for 200 kilometers because you're doing a multi-gigawatt production generation. So which panels need cleaning? So how do you figure that out? Or how do you do thermography using drones on which panels need to be replaced? And we do a lot of that stuff by deploying then robots. We do the cleaning. Similarly, on welding, that how do you figure out which weld has been perfect? If you know car welding, you're trying to weld the door and the bonnet or the side panel with the rooftop, and the weld has to be clean, of course, crack proof and friction proof, as well as leak proof. So and robots do it. The welding is not done by human beings, they're done by robots. So which welding needs a rewelding? So how do you do that? So that's done by using a resistance algorithm, that between the two welds, the resistance, measurable resistance, should be within a coefficient. Anything below or higher leads to a cracky weld. And of course, like I said, last year, we took a big bet on generative AI, on how do you use generative AI. The best use case is around shop floor. As you can imagine, there are lots of machines on shop floors in our Pune factory and all factories. How do you reduce the mean time to repair? How do you reduce mean time to failure or between failure? And what we have done, we have last 10 years of logs of how machines were repaired when it went down. So you put that into a LLM. Similarly, you look at all the manuals which came with the machine, put them also in the LLM, and equip the shop floor maintenance engineer with a queryable front portal, which is what this is, which we call why. He's asking, why is the motor overheating? Or why is this pump not working? As simple as that. Or he's able to see error code and says, why am I seeing an error? Or why am I seeing red? Whatever he sees or whatever he wants to ask, he can write in there. And using LLM and GPT, it's able to give the answer. And we are able to do lots of MTBF and MTTR correction. Similarly, a good use case on contact centers, I think all of you are doing it already, where we get 50,000 emails a month. Many of the emails actually are not complaints, they're appreciation. So the good part is that GPT is able to answer back all the appreciative mail instantly. You don't need a human being to answer them. And also, it quickly flags off the mails which are complaints and guides it to the right person who's able to answer it in his queue and gives a possible answer. And then this person, like a co-pilot, reads the email and then sends. And we are able to get 30% efficiency out of this. Similarly, this is my favorite use case on the technician at the workshop. As you can imagine, we have around 1,000 workshops all over India where cars are sent. Normally, the customer expects if I send a car in the morning, it should be returned back to me in the evening. But guess what? 30% of cars don't get returned back in the evening because there's some error or other which you wanted to be repaired, which couldn't be repaired because of a complex scenario. So we equipped 500 of the 1,000 dealerships and engineers on site with a GPT-powered data mining front-end query where he or she is able to write exactly what's happening. Something as simple as in the front, there is a cut sound, as simple as that, right? We see lots of that being written by the engineer. They're not able to remedy this, that they've done the repair and the service of the car, but the cut has not been replaced. What do you do? How do you resolve that? And you would see over the last 10 years, lots of data is there already on the cut. And only that, the 400 dealerships don't speak to each other. They don't need to because they don't belong to each other. They only escalate to Mahindra if they're not able to solve it. And that retains the car for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And you as a customer are not happy. You'll be happy to know 30% of the cars are going back on the same day versus how they were being held back earlier. So that's another use of Gen AI, which has worked well for us. We call it Tech Assist. Similarly, on multimodal, when you launch a new car, the engineer has to be trained. You can imagine thousands of engineers all over India getting trained. How to change a light bulb? It's not easy. On XUV700, it's not easy to change a light bulb. So this is a very simple use case where it generates images. So it's a multimodal where the engineer is asking how to change a light bulb. And the images come up. It tells you, take this harness out, put your hand in there, and then take out the bulb, and then change the bulb. So that's another multimodal use case. But responsibility, ethics, and the risk is the prime thing. And when we were designing our portal or designing our platform, there were three things we had to focus on. First was around data security, copyright infringement, and confidentiality, of course. Second was, how do you leverage within the company Mahindra data, right? Most of the answers are there within the company. You don't need to go ask ChatGPT how far Mars is. That's not what you're trying to solve. You're trying to solve simple things. Where is my tire? Why is the wiper not working, etc. Or could be anything for that matter. These are auto examples, could be from tractors, could be from any part of the business. So the answer is within the company. So how do you create a safe container within the company which does not leak data back on the internet, right? And then, of course, how do you reduce, minimize, or eliminate hallucination? So we did this quite simply by creating an Azure container on the cloud and attaching a model garden to it. And the model garden has all the leading models you may think. And like you were saying, Ashwin, no point reinventing the wheel and trying to build a foundational model. But it's all about training. And how do you keep training and insights within the container so that no data gets leaked to the cloud and it's used by the user internally? And that has given us 30 to 40% more productivity all across the company. And the numerous use cases, the top line use cases as well. In our leasing business and car leasing business called Mahindra Leasing or Quick Lease, there is a quick bot which tells you in detail about benefits of leasing versus buying, who takes care of insurance, who takes care of servicing of the car, etc. Many things. Similarly, again, my favorite example, nobody, irrespective of which brand you have a car, ever read the manual which is kept in the dashboard unless you actually get stuck. So it's very simple for us. Just upload the manual into Mahindra.ai or Mahindra AI, and then you never need the manual ever again. You can just ask how much tire in the front wheel, how much tire on the back wheel, how do I start the defogger, how do I use the rear windscreen wiper, or whatever your issue is. And this is working very well. We're going to launch it to the customer. So any of you who have a Mahindra car in your app, which you use to book your service with You Hamesha or M4U, this is soon coming. I'm already using it. It works very well. So many use cases similar to what Archana was saying earlier. Cost of opportunity, cost of driving customer experience. None of these use cases about cutting or cost cutting. These are all about driving customer experience, increasing revenue. Similarly, on tractors, how do we equip all our tractor dealerships with a GPT where they are able to actively compare to say, how does a 40-horse Mahindra tractor compare with a John Deere? It instantly tells you features so that when the customer walks in and says, no, I think I'll buy a John Deere, he'll say, hang on, let me tell you more about it, right? And that way the salesman and the dealer salesman is far equipped using, again, GPT. And this is done by scraping data from the John Deere website, using our data together, and I'm just using John Deere, could be anything for that matter, but equipping the dealerships. Similarly, in finance, how do you equip our financial analysts within the company to do better analysis? Work which 5 MBAs do in a month, how do you do within 2 days? With the same MBAs, but powered by GPT or LLMs. And many other use cases of helping HR in employee journey, on onboarding, on customer analytics, and of course, our favorite software development activity, where I keep joking that not so good developers look very good once you start using GitHub or any other Copilot for software development. Similarly, on summarization, I think lots of use case for us where you can consume Mahindra AI, and we do it internally as an API, and you can connect it to the front app, whatever you have, knowledge generation, insight, summarization, analytics, visualization, like for finance, multimodal, like in the car, and data generation as well. Last slide around data privacy. I think all of you are likely taking care of it. As CIOs, it's our responsibility to protect the reputation of the company, whether it's around ethics, copyright infringement, or confidentiality. And of course, taking care of deep fakes and any other hallucination. And the upcoming laws on DPDP and many other things, which all of you have to deal with on an ongoing basis. With that, thank you very much. And I wanted to give a practitioner's view on how GPT or Gen AI and AI together has changed the game for us in the last 3 years by driving a deep customer experience, reimagining the experience in many cases, leveraging AI in a big way, whether it's a top-line use case or a bottom-line use case, leveraging the cloud for accelerating, scaling, being resilient, and being safe, and of course, focusing a lot on data privacy and cybersecurity. Thank you very much.